Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to take a little bit of a look at a bunch of Pokemon trading card game news, which is all worked up around the release of those upcoming games, that is Legends Arceus and Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Because it turns out that buying Pokemon video games can really help out your Pokemon trading card games. How cool is that? Now, one of the things to note straight off the back is the thing that I told you about yesterday, and that is that there is an Arceus V promo, which has been confirmed as not a pre-order bonus. It is officially being called an early purchase bonus over in Japan. Now, since yesterday when I showed you that video, I have been doing a little bit of digging. And basically, it seems to be that it is being given out everywhere. It seems to be that no matter where you pre-order it, you are going to get this. Now, if anybody is pre-ordering over in Japan, my advice to you is this. Be super clear. If the place in Japan you are not ordering from does not specifically say in the advert that it does include this promo card, assume that it doesn't. That's not to say that it won't, but all I'm telling you is that if you're taking the time and effort to order this from Japan to try and get a promo card, it's going to end up being a pretty expensive, awkward promo card to get hold of. You don't want to accidentally buy a copy of the game without the promo card. I am not an expert on every single Japanese distributor, shockingly enough, so I think the sensible thing to do is just to hold tight and make sure. For instance, if you go over to the Pokemon Center online, the official Japanese Pokemon Center, if you add the Arceus game to your basket, the promo card will be automatically included. Not for nothing, there is also an art book, which is included in there as well. So that's probably where I'm going to go for. This is very, very cool. We don't exactly know how this is being given out, though. We know it's an early purchase promo, and my guess was that this would actually be included in the game case. They've done this with a bunch of games like Dragon Ball Heroes. Over here, when you bought it, the early copies of the game had some promo cards in, and they were just in the game case. So essentially, they print up the early copies of the game, and they've got the promo cards in, and then there's no issue. Everyone who buys it early gets the cards. I thought that was going to be the case, and that still makes a lot of sense to me. However, the lovely Antoine Boulet, who I think it's fair to say knows a few things here and there, especially when it comes to Japanese releases and the such, has gone and told us that it is probably more likely to be in a separate envelope, just like the Sword and Shield 7-Eleven pre-order promo, which is apparently now worth over 3 times the price of the game it came with. Now, there is always a chance, ladies and gentlemen, that this new promo ends up becoming worth that gosh darned much, but people are far more aware of these, and that seems to be a 7-Eleven promo, whereas this is an everywhere promo. I wouldn't just assume that it is going to be a super expensive promo. I want it because it's cool, but I would hold off just a little bit. So, seems to be everywhere. I've also seen an Amazon Japan listing that explicitly refers to it, but I would not go making an assumption that it will definitely be the case. Double check before you order. That is the most sensible thing to do. But as well as getting a promo card, it seems like you can also go and get yourself a deck box. Yeah, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Over on 7net Shopping, you can go and get yourself a deck box if you go and pre-order. Now, I am desperately trying to figure out if 7net is confirming that they've got the promo card. Again, most places should have the promo card, but I don't want to go on the assumption, because as much as I want this deck box, if I order the game and I get the deck box, but I don't get the promo card, I'm going to be genuinely a little bit gutted about that. So again, I do think that if you really want to be safe, and you should, that you should be making sure, explicitly making sure, that when you order it, the website is actually saying it comes from here. This will give you the promo card. It is interesting to note that over on 7net, they are actually listing two different versions of the game. And the version of the game that comes with the deck box is actually a little more expensive than the version of the game that doesn't come with the deck box. So that's an interesting one for me. So I would be slightly careful about that as well. I mean, to be fair, the one without the deck box is discounted and the other one isn't. But you're talking a difference of like 300 yen. That's like £2. It's definitely worth it, ladies and gentlemen. But I like this deck box. This deck box is pretty gosh darn cool. But then again, if I pre-order it from the Pokemon Center, I get the art book, so I don't know. Now, there is also a fair point to be made here. Wassy, you're not Japanese. Why don't you just buy the English version of the game? And on the one hand, that's fair. On the other hand, I am actively learning Japanese and spending a couple hours a day doing it, and I need some Japanese games to play when I'm a bit more proficient. And thirdly, if you're actually suggesting I don't need to get the Japanese version of the game just to get the promo card, well, hello. You must be new here. And I'm very glad you're here. And I hope you stay. And then over time you'll realise why I need the Japanese version of the game. But that is not the only cool pre-order bonuses we need to talk about which are specifically TCG related, but the last ones we don't have a huge amount of information about. You see, ladies and gentlemen, in Hong Kong and Taiwan, this is from the lovely PokeGuardian.com, you can get a special Leafeon V and Glaceon V promo as an early pre-order bonus for the physical game. Now, these are not both for each game. You get Leafeon V for Brilliant Diamond and Glaceon V for Shining Pearl. And we have been given information that these will be different from the versions of the cards that came around in Eevee Heroes. And just like with the Arceus V promo we saw yesterday, this raises a whole bunch of questions, and they are questions to which we do not have particularly great answers. So, for instance, what do they do? Like, for me, that's the big question straight off the bat. What do these things actually do? And the answer is, we don't know. Now, the original Leafeon, I'm actually quite a big fan of, because it's got that ability that once during your turn, you may search for a grass energy, attach it to one of your Pokemon, and your turn ends. And yes, fine, it ends your turn. But in the early game, or when you've got nothing to do because you're having a bad turn, I love the idea of just being able to get an extra grass on the field. Not to mention that Leafeon V Max has seen a bit of play and bit of success over in Japan. So this is one that appeals to me rather greatly. As for Glaceon, I am not a huge fan of Glaceon, but I do think the original Glaceon V that lets you search for a card that evolves from it, i.e. Glaceon V Max, and evolve into it. If you're going to play Glaceon V Max, this seems like a good Pokemon V. As for the V Max, it's immune to V Maxes and has an alright attack, so in a V Max heavy metagame, if the Pokemon Vs are going to struggle to take it out, I can see a reason why Glaceon V Max would see a little bit of play as well. So, both of them are decent cards, as in the original versions that were in Eevee Heroes and are now in Evolving Skies. So I do think they're going to need to be something special to be good, but then again, maybe they shouldn't be good. Because that leads to the other question of, well, hang on a second, how do we get these? Because if these are just pre-order bonuses, and they're playable, what, am I buying 4 copies of the same game? Like, if I want to play Leafeon V Max and I need 4 Leafeon V, am I just buying 4 copies of Brilliant Diamond? That can't be sensible, ladies and gentlemen. That can't be a great idea. And then, of course, we got the question of, well, hang on a second, are these really just coming to Hong Kong and Taiwan? And maybe. It's absolutely possible. But I also think it's fair to say pretty unlikely that that would be the case. Now, pre-orders are up in Japan, and I've not seen any note of these in Japan. Bearing in mind, Arceus is coming out 2.5 months after Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and that's already up for pre-order with the promo card. It would be a bit weird if the earlier games also had promos they hadn't shown us. But then again, it would be a little bit weird if these were just Hong Kong, Taiwan promos. I mean, the thing we can say with a fair degree of certainty, they are not only ever going to be released in those territories. That makes no sense. So, they will be released somewhere else. Maybe just Japan and there. Maybe over here. But then again, as we saw with the Arceus promo, it's got the game logo stamped on it. And I want promos with game logos on. I'm sorry, I'm a nerd. So, are we going to get it but without the stamps? In which case, I desperately want them with the stamps. And I don't know is the honest answer, ladies and gentlemen. We know that there are promo Leafeon and Glaceon Vs out there. We know they're being given out in Hong Kong and Taiwan with physical pre-orders of those Gen 4 remakes. And then we've got a whole bunch of speculation and not a whole bunch of answers. And for that, I'm very sorry. So there we go. Those are your TCG-related pre-orders for Arceus and Diamond and Pearl, or Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. And I'm hyped. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm hyped. I think these are cool. I love them. I want all of them. But I want to know what you want. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasty, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.